Hello everyone, Dave here. First of all, I'd like to address the fact that it's been over a month since my last video. I do apologize for that. I had some health issues and also had some dental surgery done, but I'm all better now and I've made some minor upgrades to my setup, so I'm ready to go. My plans from here on out are to upload at least 2 videos per week, beginning with this one. So let's continue, shall we? In my previous video, I covered the basics of drawing shapes with simple lights and shadows. Here I will cover the basic single-point perspective drawing and foreshortening. I'm sure you've all heard the term perspective before. My mentor used to say that we use perspective drawing and foreshortening to create the illusion of a 3-dimensional object on a 2-dimensional surface. The intent is to draw objects on our canvas as we see them in real life. One of the best examples to use for perspective is a common everyday train track. We all know that a train track is composed of 2 parallel tracks, which, by definition, are always the same distance apart and never touch. However, in a drawing or a photograph, you can see that as the tracks get further away, they appear to get smaller and closer together. This is the most basic rule of perception and relativity. Even as they reach the horizon line, the point at which the ground and the sky appear to touch, the tracks never come completely together. However, if you were to continue these lines, they will intersect at what we call the vanishing point. This is the point at which all objects on the same plane will appear to converge. For example, if you have a line of trees, they will all follow this rule and will align with the same vanishing point. Even if they are different heights, they will still abide by the same rule. Another good example of this concept would be a row of telephone poles. One common beginner mistake is to just draw the poles without paying attention to the vanishing point, and they don't just look like they would in the real world. However, if you start with your perspective lines for both the top and bottom of the poles, and then draw them within those lines, they look more realistically sized and placed according to the perspective of the viewer. Now I'm going to show you a real-world example of perspective with this photograph of a city street. This is a basic 1-point perspective shot. You can see that all the vertical lines are completely vertical that go straight up and down in relationship to the photograph, while the horizontal lines on either side will appear to converge at a single point, even though we know they are not actually coming together in the real world. The building here on the left side of the photograph has a more rounded shape in its design. It's not just a flat plane like the other building in the picture. So even though it is in fact following the same rule of perspective, it doesn't appear so in this example. This is a more advanced subject that will be covered later in a later video. To further illustrate this point, I'm going to start a line at the vanishing point and move it around the picture. You can see that it does indeed line up with the horizontal lines of the architecture as I move it around the image. And that's all I have for today. In my next video, I'll talk about multiple vanishing points in a single image and different shapes in perspective. Be sure to drop a like if you found this video helpful and informative in any way. Also be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to check out my other work on TikTok and Indie Planet. Links will be in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.